Welcome back to another episode of my lore series, delving into the depth of Destiny. Yeah, that's 1 and 2, so yep, it's overall, so don't worry if you didn't watch Destiny 1, I'm covering it. Today we're covering the house that had the leader to instigate the Alliance for the Battle of the Twilight Gap. So again, if you watched my previous video, you'll know why this is now relevant. Basically, each video will have a knock-on effect for the next video. I'll be talking about something that I talked about in the previous video. So, who are the House of Kings? Well, most well known for their Kell and the raging of the Battle of Twilight Gap. Obviously, that was quite a big event, and it was their Kell that arranged it. So, you know, this house means something. But they have so much more history to them. So let's start off from as early as we know they existed, which was from before the event called the Whirlwind. Now, for those that aren't familiar, this was an event where the Traveller left the Fallen, or as they were known back then, the Electionai, from before the Whirlwind event. Unlike when the Traveller came to Earth and humankind had advanced its technology into the Golden Age because of the Traveller, the same sort of thing happened with the Electionai, the Fallen. They benefited from the Traveller that much that when it left, they felt torn apart. They felt like they needed it to be together. So from this there was a sort of like inter-house battle that ended up being caused. You know, each house was fighting against each other, but yet all they wanted to do was chase down the Traveller and try and get it back to their home planet, because they just felt that they couldn't live without it because of the advancements it gave to them. That is also why they came to Earth to challenge us for it. They wanted to take the Traveller back for themselves, not just the House of Kings, but every house in existence for the Fallen. The House of Kings resided mainly in the Cosmodrome, precisely in the Terrestrial Complex and King's Watch. Now, many will remember this area from D1, and you will know that it is covered with Fallen, as well as Hive. To this day, the leader of House of Kings, which is Kell of Kings, that's literally how we refer him, because we still don't know his name. He's still anonymous, no real name has been revealed ever. During their time on Earth, the House of Wolves tried to arrange a treaty peace offering for the Wolves to join the King's house. Now, the reason this never happened was because it fell through when the Kell of Kings sent two of his barons, Paskin and Vekis, is the names, I don't know if that's how they're pronounced, instead of showing up himself. This caused Prince Uldren of the Reef to suspect that the King of Kell's true intention was to assassinate their representative Yavik, Wolf Baron, Baron of the Wolves basically. The truth of this will never be found out, as a Guardian interrupted the meeting to kill all the barons present. This particular event was called the Wolf Rebellion. As of the Taken War, the House of Kings' presence seemed to have diminished even further, without so much as a mention of the Kell or his followers, especially since the main domain, the King's Watch, where they resided, was now controlled by a Shadow of Oryx, potentially meaning the House of Kings had been converted to Taken, but this was never confirmed and we never actually knew whether that was the case. Next up was the Siva Crisis with Rise of Iron, and by this time even more evidence of the House of Kings vanishing from the Cosmodrome were apparent, yet one particular individual still tried to meet with the Kell of Kings. Uldren Sov allowed himself to be captured by the House of Kings in a last-ditch attempt to meet the Kell and trick him into serving under Uldren himself. Around this time, reports of Fallen were still coming in, of the Fallen in their entirety retreating out of the Cosmodrome completely. Reason completely unknown, maybe due to the fact that Siva threat was too high and feared certain Fallen into retreating out of the Cosmodrome, or maybe something we don't know as of yet, something completely different that is yet to be revealed. The thing is a lot of this stuff is yet to be written, so for all we know, that could be the case. Now, if we look at the current timescale being the Red War, all that is left of most of the Fallen houses are burnt banners and scraps. In their place, a new banner, one that seems to have united all the leftover Fallen members from different houses and creating a new threat again on Earth. This house is the House of Dusk, and this house has many members from what appear to be the House of Kings as well as others. Not only that, but their communication protocols are etc. are that of the House of Kings, not any other house, which leads us to believe that the House of Kings reformed this new house, gathering old members of other houses to create this new fallen army. There are no other banners now on the earth other than this House of Dusk, which, if you played D1 and you knew how many different houses there were, is quite interesting, because over the different planets there were so many different houses, so the fact that they're now all united on Earth and to become one house could mean that there is going to be a new potential threat in the future. Looking over the history of House of Kings, there's one specific stat that quite stands out over the rest of the houses, and that is the fact that they are the only house to never lose a Kell, who to this day again remains unknown and uncaptured. Any other house has not achieved this goal. House of Devils alone have lost 2 Kells, for example. Don't know how many House of Winters and House of Wolves have left, but I'm pretty sure it's 3 or 4, or it's at least 2 again. But the fact is they have lost a Kell. Even Skolas, who was the Kell of Kells, got captured and in the end taken down by us, the Guardians. Overall, Guardians, I find this one interesting. Fallen House, so much mystery to them, and also strong leadership to never be captured and knowing when to retreat. From this, I want to look into the House of Dusk, as I think there'll be a lot more to them. But next I'll be looking into the House of Winter and what they represent and achieved compared to the House of Kings. Hope you enjoyed listening to it, guys, and I hope you like this new series. Don't forget to hit that like button and let me know your thoughts below in the comments. And if you haven't already, subscribe to keep up to date with the new content of lore. Thanks again, and see you out there, Guardians.